A somber dawn breaks as heavy, dark clouds roll across the savanna. The wind picks up, whipping through the tall grass and stirring up dust. A small herd of antelope suddenly bolts across the plains in a panic. A flock of large birds bursts from the brush, seeking shelter from the wind. Reth stands at the edge of the camp, squinting at the approaching storm. He shields his eyes against the gale, his weathered face etched with concern. Kael and his hunting party return hastily, their steps quick and alert. Kael stops abruptly, feeling the powerful shift in the wind as he looks up. He and Reth exchange a worried glance, a silent understanding of the coming danger. The women of the tribe hurry to gather and fold the drying animal hides. One woman urgently packs medicinal herbs and roots into a large leather bag. Another quickly gathers stone tools, her eyes constantly flicking towards the sky. Together, they move a carefully wrapped pile of dried food into a sturdier shelter. The wind howls, kicking up large, swirling vortexes of dust near the camp. Leaves and small branches are torn from trees, creating a chaotic, swirling scene. The rain begins, falling in torrents, lashing against the hardened earth. Visibility drops as the camp structures become mere shadows in the downpour. The ground floods quickly, small rivers of rainwater carving paths through the camp. A small hide tent strains against the storm, its leather ties stretched to their limit. Part of the roof is torn away, allowing the torrential rain to pour inside. With a loud crack, a wooden support pole collapses, bringing a section of the tent down. Reth rushes forward, using all his strength to try and reset the fallen pole. Kael and two other hunters work to reinforce another swaying tent with extra ropes. A large sheet of animal hide is ripped free, flying into a muddy puddle. Rainwater floods another shelter, soaking the fur bedding and supplies inside. A leather pouch containing food reserves is swept away by the current. Dried roots and tubers are ruined by the water, a significant loss for the tribe. A woman watches the lost food float away, her eyes wide with helplessness. Reth and Kael realize their efforts to save the camp are futile. Reth raises his arm, shouting an urgent command for the tribe to gather. He points decisively to higher ground, issuing the urgent command to evacuate. The tribe quickly gathers what they can, their movements hurried but orderly. A woman secures a bag of herbs to her back while holding on to another person. A hunter carries a heavy bundle of spears, his feet sinking into the mud. Reth leads the way, his powerful form parting the floodwaters as he pushes forward. Kael follows close behind, constantly checking to ensure no one is left behind. They move slowly through the knee-deep water, each step a struggle. A man slips into a muddy hole, but is quickly pulled up by two others. The wind whips at their faces, forcing them to bow their heads as they march. Rain soaks their hide coverings, but their grim procession does not stop. A woman holds on to the person in front of her, her face tired but resilient. The strong help the weak, their unity a powerful force against the storm. Reth signals for a brief pause, scanning the terrain for a safer path. Kael uses his spear to probe the water ahead, avoiding deep pools and obstacles. They press on, their feet sinking in mud, their eyes fixed on the high ground. A wide shot shows the tribe as a single line moving across the flooded plain. They finally reach the higher ground, the earth here firmer and less flooded.
Dry ground.
A large rock formation on the mound offers a solid anchor for a new shelter. Dense trees provide some natural protection from the wind and rain. Reth points to the rock, directing everyone to gather there for shelter. The tribe members sigh in relief, finally reaching the drier, higher ground.
Gather
Kael
wood
immediately
now.
directs the hunters to find materials for a temporary shelter. Reth and Kael work together, driving a salvaged wooden pole into the ground.
Hold it steady. Almost there.
Two hunters tie a large animal hide between two trees, creating a simple roof. A man uses a heavy stone to break branches for the shelter's frame. Salvaged hides are used to create makeshift walls against the biting wind. The tribe works as one to pull a large hide taut, securing it with rocks.
Pull.
A hunter quickly lays down thick, dried mammoth pelts they manage to save. These pelts create an insulated, dry floor under the makeshift shelter. A woman adds a processed woolly rhino hide next to the mammoth fur.
This
The
will be a
women
warm
carefully
place.
arrange the
Yes,
furs,
much better.
creating a warm, flat surface for rest. One woman organizes the remaining food pouches and tools under the new roof. Another woman tries to start a fire, striking two flint stones together. She patiently tries to catch a spark in a handful of carefully preserved tinder. Kael and two hunters stand guard at the edge of the mound, watching the surroundings. They hold their weapons at the ready, alert for any predators drawn by the storm. A hunter scans the distant tree line, listening intently for unnatural sounds. Kael places a calming hand on a young hunter's shoulder, signaling him to focus. A wide shot shows the new temporary camp established on the high ground.
Always, leader.
The storm begins to subside. Patches of blue appear in the dark sky. The first rays of sunlight pierce through the clouds, illuminating the flooded landscape. The water below reflects the new dawn, a vast mirror of survival and hope. Reth and Kael survey their makeshift camp, assessing the storm's damage. Reth inspects a warped support beam, his hand feeling the waterlogged wood. Kael picks up a torn leather pouch, shaking his head at the lost food. They share a somber look, thankful that no one was seriously injured. Reth looks out over the flooded lowlands with an expression of deep contemplation. He turns and places a hand on the large rock that anchored their shelter. He realizes the importance of mobility and adapting to nature's fury. Kael and the hunters begin reinforcing the shelter, learning from their experience. A hunter ties a thick vine to a pole, pulling the knot much tighter than before. Another sharpens the end of a branch with a stone flake, creating a sturdier stake. Kael tests the new lashings, ensuring they can withstand a much stronger wind. They search the nearby woods for stronger vines and more durable materials. A team of hunters fells a small, sturdy tree with their stone axes. Together, they begin building a new, more resilient shelter
Hold
frame.
it steady, just a little more.
Reth watches their work with a nod, confident in his tribe's ability to adapt. Though exhausted, the tribe members begin the task of rebuilding with determination. A woman carefully lays out soaked furs to dry in the weak morning sun. A man gathers dry wood fragments, preparing to build a proper fire.
Go!
Kael
Check the
directs a
streams.
team to
Water
scout
is
the nearby
vital.
streams and water sources for flooding. Reth strokes his beard, contemplating the lessons learned and the challenges ahead. The sunlight grows stronger, slowly drying the damp earth on the mound. A small bird lands on a nearby branch and begins to sing, signaling peace. A woman smiles with relief at the sight of the sun, breathing in the fresh air. Reth and Kael stand together, their gaze fixed on the horizon, filled with resolve. Hunters continue their work, packing mud around the base of the shelter poles. A woman uses a flat stone to smooth the muddy floor inside the main shelter. A pair of weathered hands carefully sews a torn hide with a sinew thread. A hunter sharpens his spearhead, preparing for the necessary hunts to come. Reth contemplates a carved bone, thinking about his tribe's precarious existence. Kael uses gestures to describe the wind patterns to Reth, planning for the future. Reth nods, signaling for Kael to organize new foraging and supply parties. A group of women forages on the high ground, searching for edible, unflooded plants. They inspect each plant carefully, their eyes focused and knowledgeable. A woman gives a soft cry of success, having found a bush of edible berries. The hunters return, dragging larger logs to fortify the camp's structure.
Almost there.
They begin digging shallow drainage ditches around the new campsite. Reth stands alone, considering if they should leave this entire region for good. Kael approaches, placing a supportive hand on his shoulder in a sign of unity. Reth turns, his eyes showing trust in his second-in-command as they face the horizon. Several sturdier shelters now stand, looking much more stable than before the storm. A woman successfully starts a small, smoky fire, bringing warmth and hope. Tribe members gather around the fire, warming their hands and their spirits. They share the few berries they found, each bite savored with gratitude.
Good.
A man uses a stone axe to chop a large branch into smaller, usable pieces. A wide shot shows the tribe's rebuilt camp, now more fortified and secure. The warm light of late afternoon brings a sense of peace after the storm. From a high point, Reth and Kael look down on their tribe with hopeful eyes. The entire tribe looks up at the clearing sky. A new dawn has truly begun.